too much of one thing can actually cause problems in the future, and I don't want that for anyone. Hi everyone, I'm Roberta. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist, and welcome back to part 2 of comparing Nutrisystem breakfasts to what we can get in the grocery store, and we're even improving on the nutrient content of the breakfast. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hi to everyone who has subscribed, thank you. And hit the bell notification if you want to be alerted to the next video, and please give it a thumbs up. The carb cubes, you might already know that they're set up for a 1,200 calorie eating plan where each time you eat, you do not go over 30 grams of carbs. Who out there knows what a 1,500 calorie diet looks like? You're right, you would add one more cube to the meals, giving each meal 45 grams of carbs, but don't go over 45 grams of carbs, and your snack would stay the same. Either 30 carbs at one snack, or you can split it up and have 2 15-gram snacks. Let's see what our first breakfast item is. Here Nutrisystem has a high protein pancake mix. Remember, we're looking at serving size first, then total carbohydrates. We get to subtract any dietary fiber because that actually helps us. So we see the serving size is 1 packet, because it comes in a powder and you just add water. The total carbohydrate is 16 grams. Is there any dietary fiber we get to subtract? Yes, 3. So 1 packet of this powder is 13 grams of carbs. Wow, that's not even half of your meal limit over there. And I'm checking out the protein too. 10 grams of protein. We're trying to get about 20 grams of protein. Let's see if there's anything in the grocery store that's comparable. So here we have Kodiak cakes, power cake, flapjack, and waffle mix. Let's first check the serving size. And it is a powder because it's a mix. Serving size, 1/2 cup. What are the total carbohydrates? 30 grams. Is there any dietary fiber we can subtract? And you can see, yes, 5. So 30 minus 5, 25. Those of you on a 30 carb limit for your meals, you could add a little bit of sugar-free syrup on your pancakes. Or that would be equivalent to a teaspoon of maple syrup. You could thin out a teaspoon. Those of you on a 45 carb limit at your meals, you could have these pancakes and then a serving of fresh fruit with it. But the other thing I look at is the protein and the fat. Protein, ideally you want about 20 grams of protein at a meal. And we will be discussing protein at a later time, and you will be interested to know that you can only absorb about 30 to 35 grams of protein at one time, and that's equivalent to 5 ounces of chicken, fish. You could leave the product as is, or when you mix this up, they say on the package that you can put an egg in there. That would give you 6 more grams of protein, hitting your mark at 20 grams of protein, and the egg would also give you 5 grams of fat, which is totally fine because for a 1,200 calorie plan, we keep it 10 to 12 grams of fat max. And for a 1,500 calorie plan, we keep it to 15 grams of fat per meal max. These recommendations are coming from the Dietary Guidelines for Americans, the American Heart Association, and the American Diabetes Association. There are a lot of diets out there. Some of them say you don't have to look at the total fat, but you do have to look at the total fat because too much total fat tends to lead to too much saturated fat. And saturated fat is what causes our cholesterol to go up. The next Nutrisystem product is cinnamon brown sugar oat squares. And on that product label, we see serving size is 1 package. The carbohydrate is the next place I look, 25 grams. Is there any fiber to subtract? Yes, we can subtract 5 grams. So one of these has 20 carbs. Is there something in the store we can buy comparable to this? Well, I found these Kind bars that come in different varieties. And we'll look at this peanut butter one. What's the serving size? 2 bars. That's a little deceptive because on the front of the label it says there are 8 bars. I bought these many months ago, and when I opened it up there were only 4 pouches in the box. And I thought that I was robbed, but I just didn't read the front properly. The front says 8 bars, 4 packs of 2 breakfast bars. If someone's watching from the Kind company, look at the front of the Nature Valley box. They do it a whole lot better. They write the number of pouches, they write the number dash 2 bars per pouch. That's the way you should have done it. So serving size 2 bars, that's 1 pouch is what it is. What's the total carbohydrate amount? 29 grams. Is there any fiber we can subtract? Yes, 3 grams. So it puts you pretty close to the 30 gram limit at each meal if you're on a 1200 calorie eating plan. Total fat's right on the mark. A 1200 calorie eating plan, you don't want more than about 10 to 12 grams of fat at each meal. But boy, that protein is too low. We're trying to get about 20 grams of protein. So you can have this packet, but we need more protein. We can't increase the carbs anywhere. We can't increase the fat anywhere. So where are you gonna get just protein? A protein powder. So that's where you would mix up a protein drink. Just mix it up with either unsweetened almond milk or water. If you're on a 1500 calorie plan and you get up to 45 grams of carbs at one time, you could have a cup of milk with this, or you could have a protein shake with a portion of fruit in it. Those are some choices to get that extra serving of carbs if you wanted and increase your protein. And what's the last product that we want to look at from Nutrisystem? Peanut butter oat bar. We check out the serving size and the carbs. Serving size 1 bar, total carbs 23. Any fiber to subtract? We see yes. So this is 20 grams of carbs and the protein's kind of low. Is there anything in the store that's comparable to that? Well, I found these Kellogg's Special K protein bars. They also come in a variety of flavors. Chocolate peanut butter is the one that we'll look at. And what's the serving size? 1 bar, total carbohydrate, 21 grams. Is there any fiber to subtract? So that takes us down to only 17 grams. Well, the protein is quite good at the 12 grams of protein. But you know, you're still lacking in a bit of protein. So on a 1200 calorie plan where your limit is 30 carbs, you could do a cup of milk with this because you still have carbs to use up to go toward your milk, and milk also helps with the protein. If you're not a milk drinker, you could just do a protein shake. And if 1500 calories is what you're following, setting your carbohydrate limit at 45 grams, you could have a portion of fruit with this, and then to also up your protein, you could have an egg. Remember in the last video I mentioned that the American Heart Association says if your cholesterol level is normal, you can have up to 7 eggs a week. And if you do have elevated cholesterol, try to keep it no more than 4 whole eggs a week. If you notice, we're not looking at calories because what's more important is to have a proper balance of fat, carbs, protein. The body uses different nutrients to build different things in the body. I don't want someone to have the right calories but then to be deficient in protein, or have the right calories and be excessive in fat, risking having excess saturated fat. So that's why we're not looking at calories, because calories only tells part of the story. I want to know where the calories are coming from. If you saw my second video, you'll remember that calories come from 4 sources: fat, carbohydrate, protein, and alcohol. And I want to make sure that you have the right balance of the fat, the protein, and the carbs. Too much of one thing can actually cause problems in the future, and I don't want that for anyone. And that's it for today's video. I hope you're becoming more comfortable looking at the labels for carbohydrates, seeing that you can subtract the fiber out of the carb number. I hope that you have downloaded the carbohydrate list and are starting to learn what quantity of food gives you that standard 15 grams of carbs. I hope that you are thinking about how you plan your meals, asking yourself first, where's the protein? We want about 3 ounces, which is about the size of a deck of cards, which gives us 20 grams of protein. An abundance of vegetables, whether cooked or raw or a combination. And of course, the carbohydrates is what we're focusing on right now, trying to be mindful of the food and the drinks and what carbs are in those. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you picked up some new ideas today. Keep watching those carbs, be a good carb detective. Oh, and please try to start getting your exercise in. The American Heart Association says we all need to do a minimum of 150 minutes a week. So that's comparable to 30 minutes, 5 days a week, or just about 40 minutes, 4 times a week. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification, and give it a thumbs up so I can keep bringing you videos. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. And until next time, take good care of yourself. Bye.